What's up, world? This is Norette Turimuci. I'm the country director of Resonate, where we work to unlock the leadership potential of women and girls in East Africa. This is my era. What about you?
This is my era podcast. We spark the minds that set the trends that change the world as we know. And it starts right now. So let's go. This is my era. Hosted by Kuda Biza and yours truly, Mr. Alexander Starr. This is my era. Represents everybody who knows they want a better world and does something about it. This is our era. What about you?
Welcome one, welcome all to This Is My Era, the podcast. I'm your host today, Mr. Alexander Starr, and I want to thank you for investing time into learning more about others so that you can learn more about yourself. Time is the key, and it's also the acronym for This Is My Era, T-I-M-E. So we value those who use their time to take action and do something, and not just something good for the world. Our guest today brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to us. She had an 8-year tenure with the Cook Financial Group, an elite investment group based in Indianapolis, Indiana. After that, she helped improve cancer control for Canadians through her work at the Canadian Partnership Against Cancer in Toronto, where she coordinated 3 national cancer screening networks and supported initiatives to improve equal access to quality cancer care for Indigenous peoples. And now she is the country director of Resonate, an organization unlocking leadership potential in women and girls in East Africa. Norette Turimuci, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Indeed. So, correct me if I'm wrong, you're in Kigali, Rwanda right now, correct?
That's right.
Oh my God, I absolutely love it there. I
It
absolutely
is a
love it there.
beautiful place.
The vibes there are incredible. So, I'm a little bit nostalgic right now. I wish I could be there with you.
Well, hopefully you get to come back sometime soon.
I hope so too. I'm actually planning on it. 2019, I should be there in the summer with Kuda and Heather and some really other cool people. But for right now, I can dream about it. But I'm not in a bad place either. I'm in South Florida, so I can't really complain. But okay, so we're here to talk about Resonate today and your role with Resonate. But first, can you describe to us the social climate in East Africa, and why it's important for Resonate to make the difference that it's making?
I think it's not even just in East Africa, but we'll talk about East Africa, but I think in general, globally, we do have a social issue around gender equality and the fact that women are still not given the same access to men to economic opportunities, educational opportunities. But I think we're starting to make strides on the global level and in East Africa, even though there are varying levels of improvements happening in different countries. I think now is the time for us to have a serious conversation around how do we make sure that our girls are growing up having the same opportunities as their brothers, and that being a girl doesn't work against them.
So I think that you're 100% correct. Like, gender equality is like a global issue, and I find that in the States, it's a little more subdued, and you kind of have to either be a woman to see it directly, or or you hear people speaking up about things that have happened. So how is it in that part of the world, in East Africa? Is it more blatant? Is it more like this is what it is and it's the way that it is, so women have to deal with it? Like, or is it subdued, kind of like in the US, but people aren't talking about it?
So we're in Rwanda, for example, where I am right now. The majority of people in the parliament are women.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Yes, it's there's an incredible support in terms of making sure that we have women in positions of leadership now. It's just that at the ground level, there's still some work to do to make sure that young girls also have access to to these positions of leadership, that they have a path that they can follow to go through there. And it's an interesting dynamic, knowing that there can be this incredible support at a high level, but because culturally women or girls aren't necessarily encouraged to be the leaders in their homes or in their families, that there's still more work to do to increase the level of confidence, so they know how much they're capable of and what their level of what their potential for leadership is.
So how do women find out about Resonate workshops? Where do you find your attendees and the women you serve?
We partner with organizations here in Rwanda and in East Africa that are providing technical skills training or education to women and girls. A lot of times, these amazing organizations are doing great work, but they're focusing on providing technical skills training. So let's say there are vocational training programs that will teach women how to weave baskets and start a business. They'll teach them how to build a business plan and become an entrepreneur. The element that is often missing from all these programs is the focus on soft skills and leadership skills and having the confidence to do all these beautiful things. And that's where Resonate comes in. So we do partner with these organizations. They do their amazing work of providing this technical skills training or education. And we complement their training by adding a leadership workshop that focuses on building self-confidence. So we work with these women and these young girls and help them think about their values and how they affect the decisions they make in their lives. Having them think about their strengths and reframing leadership for them so they can start seeing themselves as leaders. And once these women have both the technical skills or the know how to do something and the belief in themselves that they can do it, they're more likely to then go out in the world and start these businesses or take on leadership roles in their communities, in their village, in their schools.
Got it. So basically, Resonate provides women with the self-confidence to turn opportunity into action. And then
Absolutely.
they implement it. Yeah, you implement it into existing businesses and to just amplify what these women are capable of doing within their work fields.
That's right. And this confidence issue is global, right? Like all women at all levels, even at an executive level, we will tend to question ourselves more than men ever would, whether it's in the boardroom or, in a community. And being able to sort of close that confidence gap so that we're less afraid to take risks. We're less afraid to voice our concerns or our desires and go for our goals is something that's critical for us right now, that is often overlooked by a lot of other organizations because they're busy building the capacity in a financial way, economic way, technical way. And that's really sort of where we're very laser focused. So making sure that these women have this mindset shift where they start seeing themselves as leaders, as a person who's able to be proactive in the face of a challenge and able to find a solution to an issue they've observed in their community or in their workplace.
Got it. Yeah, self-confidence is a huge factor in success and in any kind of forward motion for that matter. And to be completely transparent, I found myself self-conscious about my ability to do certain things, and it literally took a breakthrough, like a mental breakthrough for me to overcome it. And when I did, I felt like there was no reason for me to be self-conscious in the first place. But until you reach that mental breakthrough of doubting yourself, it's very challenging to see the other side of it and to see that you are capable. So how deeply do you find yourself battling the lack of self-confidence in others? Like how deeply do you find it embedded in people, this lack of self-confidence?
It's deeply embedded. I'm still surprised that when I realize how deeply it is embedded in myself. Even as a leader of an organization, especially when I started my work with Resonate and started living, walking the talk, and I'd go to, let's say, a meeting with a lot of stakeholders and walk into the room, and I started realizing pretty soon that I'd always find myself sitting at the back of the room. And when I scanned the room, women usually were sitting at the back of the room and the men were sitting at the front. They were way more vocal, answering questions and things like that. And that started catching these behaviors that I didn't even realize I had.
Wow.
So it's intense how much a lot of these things have been ingrained in us from the time we were very little. In our culture, a good woman, and by our culture, I mean the East African culture especially, a good woman is one who works hard and is beautiful and is the heart of the family, but it's a woman who's also not seen and not heard, and who stays in the background of all these things that are happening. And it's hard to catch ourselves. It's hard to catch ourselves when we're, even as adults, still living that behavior and staying at the back of the room when we have important things to say. And with the participants that we work with at our workshops, in our core program, which is called Storytelling for Leadership workshop, it's a workshop that helps women reflect on their past and challenges they've gone through and explore decisions they've made about a specific challenge and the outcome to today. And what this workshop does, it helps them realize how resilient they are, how strong they are, and they're exchanging with other women and they start inspiring each other. And as they're inspiring each other, a woman will look at her neighbor, at the person who's sharing with her, and see herself in her, and then realize that she is as capable and as strong and resilient as she is. And that's how they have this amazing mindset shift where they start seeing themselves differently and seeing themselves as being capable of achieving their goals. And my favorite part of attending these workshops is when I go as an observer, and on day one of the workshop, the women come in and they're very quiet and they're very unsure of themselves. And even if they come from the same community, they still seem pretty uneasy with connecting with each other. And by the end of the workshop, a day and a half later, they're alive and they're laughing and they're raising their voices and they're asking questions, and awesome. The level of energy in the room is so different. And that gives me hope, because I can now tell that it takes a few days to help somebody have this mindset shift and see themselves differently and see themselves in a positive way.
Wow. Yeah, I'm kind of I'm kind of laughing at how you said, like, the role of a good woman is to, like, be the heart of the family, but be not seen and not heard. And I say I'm laughing because as a man, I'll be the first one to say that men are extremely imperfect. Like, we mess up a lot. We like to puff our chests out and act like we know everything and we have everything under control. But I say 50% of the time we have no idea what we're doing. And that other 50%, like, we need women to get us in line. We need women to, like, show us things that we don't see. So the idea of having women silenced in the background, it hurts men as opposed to helps us, because we don't have all the answers. So, with what y'all are doing with Resonate, I feel like it's needed by men just as much as it's needed by women. Because without y'all, I think this world would have already exploded.
Absolutely. We are half of the population on the planet, right? I think giving women opportunity is a win-win situation for all. It benefits the world as a whole. So I'm glad you're bringing up that point.
Yeah. So listen, I'm just speaking for myself. I am a male. Without a woman in my life, I will be a complete mess. That is all. That is all.
I know. And I mean, the region is big. Africa as a continent is large. Like, I always hate painting an entire continent of people with one brush, but it is true that in many of our societies, there's still so much work to do to give women their voices back, right?
Oh, yeah. But I think y'all are doing an incredible job. And especially in this day and age, like, excuse me, it's just from what I've seen in my lifetime, the shift of cultures is real. Like America was a completely different place, 10 years ago, 15 years ago than it is now, especially with the Me Too movement that's happening over here and women speaking up about men in positions of power. Like that wasn't that sort of speech and these stories were suppressed for so long, and then now you've just reached a point where it's just breaking through. Like women are breaking through. Even the Arab Spring, that happened in recent history. Like information is breaking through now that I believe the internet has enabled, and just the access to information has enabled. And it's a wonderful thing to see like so many truths coming to light for so many people, because these truths were hidden for so long. And by truths, I mean like the ability to be self-confident for women. I think that's huge.
Absolutely. And that is the power and beauty of storytelling. It allows us to connect at a very human level with people across boundaries, borders, nationalities, ethnical backgrounds, races. We really do connect through stories because the human experience is global. It transcends all of our differences. And that's what we use in our workshops. We try to get these women to tell their stories and stand in them and be validated by them and be acknowledged by them. And there's an incredible strength that comes out of that. And for a woman who's going through a program that is giving her access to tools to do something, whether it is like giving her a sewing machine and a plan on how to start a shop, and then at the same time, she now sees herself as someone who can be a business owner and who can be a model for her family, for her community, she's so much more likely to go and do that. We try to track our impact, and we see that after our training, this 45% of the women who go through our trainings take on leadership roles 6 months or a year after our training. 38% of them start businesses. 24% of them will advance academically or professionally in the workplace, because now they're more likely to raise their hand or apply for a job or go to the bank and confidently tell the bank officer why she should get a loan for her business, because now she actually believes in her business idea and in the fact that she will be successful at it.
Right. And through your Resonate workshops, you've seen incredible turnarounds, like you said, trained entrepreneurs taking out loans and opening businesses. You've seen aspiring community leaders now elected to village councils, and bright young graduates putting themselves forward to find new professional and academic opportunities. So with that said, can you quickly tell us a little bit about the 3 programs that you have? You mentioned storytelling for leadership as your core, but you also have professional development and action leadership. Can you give us like some bullet points on each of those?
Yes, professional development is also a program that focuses on building self-confidence, leadership skills in the workplace. So it's more customized for women in management positions or in the workplace. And action leadership, also at the core of all of our trainings, we have storytelling for leadership as a core program, but action leadership focuses on high school students. So working with the youth, so they're exposed to this opportunity to see themselves as leaders at a younger age. And with action leadership, when we work with this with this youth, not only do they go through the storytelling for leadership workshop, but they also go through a program that helps them identify an issue in their community, come up with a solution for this issue, and then design and start implementing a project around it. So
wow.
It's a way to give them a way to start applying what they've learned and to start inspiring their community and seeing that you don't have to wait for somebody else to come and fix the issues you're seeing. You, at a young age, have the potential, the power, the brains, the heart to say, this is not working in my community and I can do something to fix it. And we just provide them the space and the support on how to design a project and how you start implementing it.
That's huge. So you're actively engaging them to make it their era. They identify something in real time. It's not like a class project sort of thing, like it's a real life project. They identify something going on that they can see an improvement on, and they set forth and take action to improve it. I think that's
exactly.
brilliant.
turning opportunity into action. And we've just launched a fourth program, which is a training of facilitators program. And what this will allow us to do is to embed this training, the storytelling for leadership training, into the programming of our partner organizations. So let's say that there's a nonprofit or an NGO in Uganda that is doing amazing work with women there. We can train their staff or their facilitators in our storytelling for leadership content, and they can then deliver integrated in the programming that they already have with these women. So we can cross boundaries and cross borders much easier with this new way of working where we're embedding our programs into our partner organizations' own programming.
Very nice. So with all the success that you're having, what keeps you awake at night?
Such a great question. What keeps me awake at night is how long it takes to make these changes. I mean, you just mentioned it, that even in the US, 10 years ago, powerful women weren't able to stand up and tell their story about things that had happened to them. And I would hate to have to wait another 100 years for us in East Africa to get to that point. What keeps me awake is how do we make this change happen faster? Because you don't change cultural norms overnight, and I'm very conscious of that. But at the same time, I think now's the time to be louder and work harder to make changes happen. So we don't have countless other generations of girls and women who have to go through what we've gone through, where we still live in a world that's very unequal in terms of access to opportunities, to jobs, to equal pay, to safe environments. I'm a mother of a 4-year-old daughter. Her coming into my life has completely changed my outlook on what it means to be the change that you want to be in the world. I've always felt that I was a feminist and that I was an empowered woman and that I could deal with the inequality that the world was throwing at me until I had a daughter, and I said, I cannot let her go through this. I cannot let her fight the fights that I'm fighting, or that my sisters are fighting, or that my mother had to fight. Making this change happen faster for her and other girls is imperative for me.
Beautiful. All right. Well, one last question, and kind of summarize it as quickly as you can. Not quickly, but in like 30 seconds. Tell us, why is this your era?
I think because it is the time of Me Too, and that the world is finally starting to focus on gender inequality. I have a voice, I have a platform now. I'm talking to you on this podcast. It is my duty to use my voice to hopefully inspire other women, and through my work with Resonate, unlock their leadership potential through the workshops that we do. Now is the time, because the world is finally starting to pay attention and people are listening in, and there's this one window of making sure that our voices are heard, and more importantly, not that I'm here telling other women's stories, but that I'm part of the work to give them their voices back and to let them know how amazing they are and let them tell the world how amazing they are.
Beautiful. So tell everyone where they can learn more about Resonate and get involved and contribute and be a part of the Resonate movement.
Sure. I'd invite everybody to visit our website at www.resonateworkshops.org, or they can visit our Facebook page at Resonate Workshops. And we'd love for everyone to have a chance to see about our work, watch our videos, and see some of the women we've worked with. We've trained about close to 6,000 participants so far, and we're very proud of it. And people can get involved by donating to us. We are a social enterprise. We rely on funding to be able to provide our trainings to women who cannot afford them but really, really need them. And we'd appreciate all the support and love we can get.
Beautiful. Go out there and support Resonate and empower women to take over the game. Come on, folks. Make sure you visit the website. And, if you love this episode, make sure you leave a review. Tell Norette your thoughts about it. Just drop some lines under here. We love hearing from y'all. We love getting your feedback and your thoughts. So thank you so much. Now, Norette, I need one more thing from you. I need you to do a drop. I need you to channel your inner recording artist. You think you could do that?
Yes.
All right, cool. So it's going to sound something like this. And, you fill in your own words. But you say something to the tune of, "What's up, world? This is Norette Turimuci with Resonate. And this is my era. What about you?" You can throw your title in there. You can say, you can throw your title in there. You can, whatever you want to say. Just say, "What's up? This is Norette, Resonate, and this is my era. What about you?"
All right. What's up, world? This is Norette Turimuci. I'm the country director of Resonate, where we work to unlock the leadership potential of women and girls in East Africa. This is my era. What about you?
Boom, boom, boom. That was perfect. First take. I see you've done this before.
Yay.
Thank you, Norette. I really appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really, really appreciate it.
I dedicate my time to making myself better, and it starts right now. This is my era. Well, let's go. This is my era. Oh yeah. This is my era. It's the fact that this is my era. Come on. This is my era. What about you? Everybody runs the race. Some have what it takes, and others don't make it through. What about you? Stand up when they call your name. Stand out when you do your job. Let greatness notice you. If you're just wishing for glory, then what are you asking? Victory ain't sweet if you don't live through the pain. So many great ones before me found glory everlasting. This what I came to do, came to be. Cause see, this is my era. Oh yeah, this is my era. This is my era. Come on, this is my era. This is my era. Come on, this is my era. What about you?
This is my era, this is my era. The mission and the vision never been so clearer. Seems like the world ain't getting no better. If you wanna see a change, take a look in the mirror now. You possess the key to unlock it. Open up the door, opportunities knocking. You can't deny, on this road that we're walking, there's gonna be some obstacles, but we'll keep on marching. Some will doubt you, even talk about you, but this world wouldn't be the same without you. Golden people on the rise, we know our value. Reaching the impossible, we'll show you how to. Don't know about you, but I know about me. I was born with everything I need to succeed. Living out the dreams, what I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to be. Cause see,
this is my era. Change that we all wanna see, yeah, whoa, and as long as I'm living and breathing, I reach for the sky, giving living a meaning.